Live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. This is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, aspirational, international, keenly awaited, daily created, highly anticipated edition of the Afternoon Swing Trading Floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander Newsom, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding each of you to love life, live life, and trade it. What's up, team? This is the Finance Friday edition of the Afternoon Swing Trading Room, and for a lot of you, it'll also serve as the Friday stock review. Usually you get a stock review that's 10 to 15 minutes long, but I figured since it was the end of the month, why not just make a nice long review for everyone, especially for those who are here live and are watching the recording. My boy Tony, what's going on, sir? How are you? Hope you're doing great. David Webb's in the building. Charles March, Don Falconia, my boy John D, Nancy, Raj, Rick, Robin. House is packed. People are piling in. I love it. Let's talk markets, my friend. This will be good. John says it will be an interesting weekend ahead. It will. I'm pretty excited to find out what comes from Monday and look at some trades and see how we get everything set up and, profit from the upcoming move. But looking at the SPY, we did bounce off of that double bottom area that we talked about on Monday and trade down to that support, right? Really nice little area here, trade up, trade back down, strong bullish gap on Monday. And really, since that gap, we've just been tearing up the chart, posting in some good moves, ending up 0.61% on the day. So if you got a chance to buy some calls or play some moves, congratulations. I mean, realistically, a lot of people are asking about double bottoms, and when do you play double bottoms after that S-curve video part 2? And the goal, realistically, is to try to find that similar support and play it down there. Now, obviously, if you don't find it in time, you can obviously play the neckline retest. But for example, on SPY, we got a long way to go before we close above the neckline. And most people probably don't want to wait quite that long before getting into a trade. Regarding what we could do on Friday to take advantage of, on Monday to take advantage of whatever move we get, we'll just note that on the hourly charts, we're a little extended. I'll say a little extended. I mean, we're bouncing off the 10. We're doing well. We're making higher highs and higher lows. I'm just looking for if we pull back into this area, keyword if, right? So Monday we were gapping down or something small. I could imagine a small gap down, trade to support and bounce again. It makes tons of sense to me. So around this 272 area on the SPY. Not saying it will happen, but just saying if. Been keeping an eye on the E-minis and haven't taken a trade yet on them. What I can say, though, and what's really interesting is we actually broke above this tweezer top on the hourly chart. So you have we're above a tweezer top. So between now and just the next few days, if you are trading any futures, this is probably going to be a really good setup to get in with a stop, realistically, probably right about here. And there's a large chance that I will, let me see, where is this? 270. I'll just do 2747. So that's 7 points. Pretty decently sized move for sure. But a retest into that price action, an old resistance of that tweezer top. 7 points, $50 a point. That's $350 of risk per contract. Yeah, I mean, again, a good tweezer top on the E-minis, let it pull back, buy the dip, and I think that just makes sense. All right, so here's the daily chart on the E-minis, and you're getting a good break above the 50. Just keep in mind that we have had a nice run-up. So you probably want to be planning that dip buy more than a breakout. If I hop over to the Dow Jones, the DIA, you had a high wave candle yesterday, which I actually did play bearish for a very, very small gain. And then today we close above the high of that candle. That's a pretty big deal, I feel like, closing above the high of that candle. So here's the weekly chart. And remember, what's really cool about today is we're going to get new weekly candles and new monthly candles. So these candles are closed on a monthly. So Monday, you're going to start a whole new month. And the reason that's interesting is because that's just going to give us more finalization. This candle now, high wave bullish candle on the monthly. And just so far, the trend still looks pretty good, right? So the weekly chart, you got to close above last week's high. So, I mean, a little bit of a pullback, it just makes sense that I think that's still a dip buying opportunity if we do get any kind of pullbacks. And if you are still long on some stocks, congratulations. I don't see any real reason why you shouldn't be. The Qs kind of hung in there. Most of the day was an inside day, so it didn't do anything on the individual indices. Most of the move that happened on the Qs, this is the 5-minute chart. Most of the bullish move didn't really happen until the end of the last hour. Yeah, so the Qs are just hanging out, and this is the setup that we have on the XLE. So the XLE, which is the energy ETF, we're going to have to end up canceling that one today because we missed this trigger by 8 pennies. 8 pennies. So the thing is, on the XLE, if you have this set up, right, if we take out the low of today's candle, we probably will drop a little bit lower, most likely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel this individual setup and then just do another one next week. But the XLE, I mean, we had the setup pretty much just a S-curve pattern. That's really all we were playing. You had this, a nice little pop, and was just looking for this again. The entry was really based off of the highs of these two little white candles, which kind of looked like a flag pattern. And again, you got this bearish candle that gapped down that immediately got filled. So that was kind of interesting. And then here's the weekly chart on that XLE setup, and the weekly just going to end up canceling that trade. So no big deal. It reduces the risk exposure a little bit, so we can cancel that on the XLE. And we're going to look at some of the other trades we have set up as well. But yeah, XLE, we can cancel that one officially. And I mean, obviously, if it keeps bouncing, that's fantastic. We can always work on finding another entry for it. But 8 pennies of a miss on the XLE Energy ETF. John says you have 6 white candles in a row. Will Monday be another? I think so, but it's going to be all up to Trump. It's going to be, well, I say Trump and just the G20 and how that whole process goes. We'll find out. We will see, man. I mean, I could see really anything on Monday. A gap down and a strong rally, a continuation, a gap up and a fade. Pretty much a non-event on Monday. I'm expecting least likely scenario. So we'll probably gap in one direction or another. So again, the SPY, we are at the 200 on the weekly. We're here. All right, we traded to a decent resistance. I'm not going to say we're going to roll over by any means. I don't think we do. But however big of a rollover we have, I think is going to be a dip buying event that I will at least plan on trying to buy the dip. So, yeah, John, great viewpoint. But, man, I don't know. We'll see. I'm pumped. Gil says we will react on Sunday, which is Monday for you. Yep. It's going to be exciting. All right, let's dive in. We have a really nice list for the day. A lot of people requesting some stocks. So we got the XLE done. Let's go look at the FAS, this is the financial ETF. And what's cool about the financial ETF is you actually did have a bearish candle yesterday. So yesterday had a bearish candle, which means that you had that rest. It was an inside day candle. And today we closed above the high of that candle, closing above the 50. Here is the weekly chart, and you have a one white soldier on a weekly candle. So one white soldier on a weekly, your long-term moving averages, right? This is the 100 simple on a weekly chart. So this is a relatively decent spot to bounce. And we've been talking about watching for some bouncing or watching for something to happen down here. So the FAS, I mean, we have more room to go. So if we're zooming in here to the hourly chart, again, very similar to what else is looks like it's going to happen. Get that retest on some patterns and I don't know, buy the dip. Again, it looks like a really ugly kind of a double bottom here on the hourly chart. I'm pretty much thinking we gap down on Monday morning. That's my guess, purely a guess. We gap down on Monday morning, throw in some lower shadows, and then get a little bit of a dip buy at some point. Not just on the FAS, but just kind of the broader markets in general. FAS usually following the markets, you know, pretty closely. It is the financial bull ETF 3X. The good old 3X. All right, so that's FAS. Here's Autodesk, ADSK, and Autodesk. What's interesting about this one is we have a high wave doji on the 20th, a gap up. We retested it, we bounced, had another doji on the 23rd, got a gap out of there, and now you have this gnarly town double bottom on Autodesk. So we've already made higher highs and higher lows on ADSK. So if I was looking at playing this one, I would just look to buy the dip somewhere back into here. Now, if you were wondering why would you buy right there, that's probably going to be where the 10 on the daily is. Let's go check it out. 10 on the daily, get my drawings back. Didn't mean to click that button. Where was I? Yep, right about there. So that's pretty much just those moving averages on the daily chart. Doesn't mean that we will pull back to that price, but we certainly could. The daily long-term moving averages, right, we're above those. So that's the 100, 200. And that is, I mean, it does look like a nice double bottom. So Autodesk, ADSK, the other cool part is on a weekly chart, you had this bearish high wave candle. We closed above the high of that candle. And now you have all of this resistance on the weekly candle time frame that if we pulled back into that price, you know, that would be a dip buying opportunity, in my opinion. I don't personally have any positions on ADSK. Don't plan on having positions on ADSK. Yeah, can't be in everything, but that's my thoughts on it. We have another double bottom that occurred over here on a weekly time frame. We can kind of see. I don't know why it keeps going back. We kind of draw that double bottom really quick. There it is. Boom, 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 boom. So we've done it before, and we could do it again. So right now, slow bullish trends, looks pretty healthy. Could also consider on a pullback, if you didn't want to get in bullish or directionally bullish, could consider a bull put spread on a pullback if you can get enough premium maybe for January. All right, Autodesk, Survey Monkey, SVMK. So Survey Monkey, we set this one up and was talking about it yesterday. My boy Bob was looking at SVMK earlier today as well, and was asking, you know, about getting in and asking if this trade still looked good. And I was like, yeah, man, still looks good. So some people played Survey Monkey today, got filled on that lower shadow. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white candles in a row. This is, you know, a retest gap right in here. And you just got that quick snap back. Here's the moving averages, and we don't have that many. The Survey Monkey is still a pretty recent IPO and just trade right down to the 10 and to the 20. So there's no real reason for us to take out this lower shadow on SVMK. I mean, we should at this point just slowly grind higher and close bullish and kind of continue to move on. But that was pretty nice S curve. I mean, you got the double bottom. A little bit of a double bottom right there. Closed with the neckline. You got the retest. Popped higher. Retest again. So, yeah, Bob, Survey Monkey. Right on, man. Let's hope she crushes. All right. Next on the list, JP Morgan. Look at JPM. JP Morgan up 1%. This one had that really delicious gap on Monday that I missed because I had an internet boost. An internet change, had someone come in and move my internet around a little bit. Really nice gap. We got that morning star reversal pattern. Here's the weekly chart, and the weekly chart again, pretty decent bullish candle on a weekly. JP Morgan, one of the stronger institutions and banks out there, fundamentally and technically. Still hasn't hit its long-term moving averages on a weekly. Most things are looking pretty similar right now. So if I do trade anything, I'm trying to find something that looks a little bit different than the just overall broad market. Because right now, most of these patterns have like this little double bottom kind of look. If you haven't already taken JP Morgan as a quick day trade through here, this is going to be a tough spot to go long, and it probably will require some finesse and some patience to allow it to break above here, retest, and then pop sometime in late December. So if that's what you're doing, cool. So here's the other one, the Morgans, Mr. Morgan Stanley. Ticker symbol MS, and Morgan Stanley has been making some lower lows and lower highs, actually. Relatively decent downtrend for the most part. And what's cool about this one, there's the downtrend, is you do have that 200 simple down there at $40.55. I've already looked for some bull put spread premium, and there is not any, at least for January. Unless you go over earnings, not a lot of good premium down there. And yeah, Morgan Stanley, I mean, right now you do kind of have a little bit of a downtrend. You're making lower lows and lower highs. So it's kind of an interesting signal that there's a little bit of a difference here on MS. High wave candle, bullish candle here. Kind of an ugly evening star reversal pattern, these three candles. So yeah, Morgan Stanley, I mean, I would just say if I was going to short it, if it traded up into here, I'd look for a short potentially at the 100 simple. Or if it broke below the low of those three candles, I at least wouldn't be blindly bullish, I guess is a way to think about that as well. So that doesn't mean that you have to be bearish, but it could also mean that you're just simply not bullish. John says, will be interesting to see how China trades Monday, which is our Sunday. That could be the prelude to our markets. Yes, indeed. This is another stock, ticker symbol TEAM, team. And this one looking a little different than the broader markets, but very similar to the rest of the market. Had that black candle gapping down, bounced higher, and realistically it kind of looks like a 1, 2, 3. So again, you would expect a little bit of a 4 and then a 5. So I mean, as far as just a pullback and an overall trend, I think there's a few traders with some put sales on this one. Had a decent pullback. I don't have any position on team, but I mean, looking at the daily candle, or this is the weekly candle now, that's a pretty strong, decisive week, if I do say so myself, and I do because I just did. Here's the monthly, and the monthly got one bearish candle, but we've only been trading for a little while. So this is an interesting stock because it has just been flying. I mean, just 2 years ago, it was $25 a share. So an interesting one and a fun trend to kind of put on your list. It has had some good bounces, and yep, I'll be looking for that dip buying opportunity on TEAM for anyone who requested that one. Here's American Express, ticker symbol AXP, and American Express. Let me look at this weekly chart. This one too, American Express, shocking people, but making new all-time highs. Check that out with good volume too. Look at the volume on American Express. Don't have any position in this one at all, but there's a few traders that do, I think. It's a pretty good close and very similar to just the rest of all my other analysis that I can see. If we get a little bit of a pullback next week, I think that would be a buying opportunity, it seems like. The daily chart on American Express looks toasty. This is a very interesting candle pattern. So the open and the low of this candle is the exact same. The open and the low of this candle are the exact same. So you got two shaved bottom candles back to back. I would probably argue that these two candles shouldn't break down anytime soon. And if they do, you'll probably have a bigger pullback down to like 105 just to make sure everyone's nice and trapped, and then it bounces. So that would kind of be my line in the sand for AXP. Otherwise, I like this candle close. I like the kind of bullish engulfing nature of this candle. You'll notice that American Express had already kind of double bottomed before the rest of the market. So it double bottomed, it closed above here and retested the neckline. And was kind of continuing a little bit higher. It's a decent close. If I come here to the hourly chart, hourly time frame, I mean, again, this is a pretty decent little bounce right here. It's cute. Nice shaved bottom candle. So as long as we don't break that low short term, I think American Express could easily continue higher. And again, if we do break those lows, it depends on what position you're in or what you're trying to play, but I would expect it to try to probably come down to 105, trap some people, and then bounce. Qualcomm, QCOM. So what's Qualcomm up to? Let me go look at a weekly chart. Qualcomm is like the epitome of sideways. Oh, man. So I have a feeling what John's going to be doing on Qualcomm. Yep. I mean, it was at 75 a month ago, 2 months ago. Now it's at 58. If I go to a monthly chart, you'll see this massive trend. This buy low, sell high. Look at this slow grind on Qualcomm. This trend is. I mean, I'm not going to play this one personally. I'm not a big Qualcomm fan, but doesn't mean you can't be a buyer down here. On the daily chart, I mean, you got a beautiful retest, and we've retested. So I'd kind of look at it as white candle gap and a retest gap. It's retested. So if I was going to get in bullish, it would be above the high of this candle with the stop below this candle. Would be a shorter term, kind of a more aggressive trade. And just a longer term trade, I'd probably just be getting in on some pullback or a little bit of a move higher. This would be a buy low, sell high location on Qualcomm. It'd probably be one that I would just try my best to wait it out, probably for 3 or 4 months, and see what kind of gains we get on Qualcomm. So if you wanted to put your pinky toe in the Qualcomm waters, this is probably about that price area that you would look to do that. Pluralsight, had some people request Pluralsight, ticker symbol PS, and Pluralsight. So we set this trade up, this 21.75 on Tuesday. The low of this candle is 21.80. So if you did that exact same number, you'd have missed it by 5 whole pennies. So now I'm trying to figure out if it would be viable just to take the break out of this candle. It's not bad. You did get a bearish candle 3 days ago. Let me just look at the weekly chart again. Weekly chart, one white soldier. All right, I'll hop into the hourly chart. Hourly. I'd probably just try 21.75 again or something similar. Some type of pullback. But yes, I know Mike and a few other people are keeping an eye on Pluralsight. What I do like about it so much, I just love when this pattern happens, is you got the breakdown of the really obvious IPO support level. Right? Super obvious IPO support. And then once it broke that low, bloop, threw in a high wave candle, made sure anyone who had their stop there got stopped out, and then it bounced. So pretty much what we got. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. I mean, I just like that because that's going to really be trapping anyone who was long, anyone who's bullish, and they got horrendously trapped with this candle. Morningstar reversal came in. Yeah, I mean, $27 would be the first short-term target on Pluralsight. And if you're in that, if you got filled with a different price, congrats. 5-cent miss on Pluralsight with that particular setup. And if we get one more, if we get like an inside day candle on Monday and then it broke on Tuesday, that'd be wonderful. Okay, I had a lot of people ask about Etsy recently. 'Tis the season for some things to be purchased on Etsy. And there are a few traders out there who are playing some Etsy trades. Congrats is all I can say on that. Beautiful. Bullish gap and go on the 7th of November. That was a really profitable day for some people. Just in the day trade world, that was the Twilio gap and the Etsy gap on the same day. Crushed it. So ETSY, I mean, made a new all-time high. That's where all the newbies bought because they needed confirmation it was bullish, and so that's where they got on. And then it rotated down, you know, just to make sure they're all stopped out, and then it bounced again. So at this particular point, I think the gentleman who was requesting Etsy was asking about covered call and a protective put, but it didn't say exactly which covered call. Oh, by the way, my friends, the month is over. So make sure you can throw in your monthly totals. Fill us in. Let us know how you did. Really exciting info that we're all getting positive results, and that's incredible. Not all, not everybody, not everyone's profitable, but I mean, for those who are, awesome. Feel free to post your results. Post the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it is, whatever the updates. Let us know your struggles. Tell people your journey. Fill us in. But congrats, Mr. Robert Falco, for 6 Rs for November. Bob getting 4 Rs for November. Angela getting 4 Rs for November. Your boy Newsom getting that 11.2s for November, hitting that 10-R goal. Congrats, my boy Stephen King getting 2 Rs in November. Thomas Wong getting 5.5. Dwayne getting 18.7. Woo! Nice. So anyway, I think it was Mike who was asking about Etsy, and Mike was saying, "Hey, should I do a collar?" Is what he was saying. Sell a covered call and buy some out of the money protective puts just in case. And I'm all for that. The last time we really were talking up Etsy was back over here, and my analysis was, "Hey guys, it's Christmas season, it's coming up. Whatever you celebrate, whatever holiday you do not celebrate, people buy stuff off of Etsy. It's an entirely different market than Amazon. I've been saying that for a while, and I think it's a really cool product. So long term, this is a fun one. And there's a few real life traders in Etsy. I don't have any position in it, unfortunately, only because I can't be in everything. That's the only reason why. Otherwise, I would definitely be in Etsy. Yeah, hi ho. Let that one just keep churning and burning. Mike, let me know what you do on your collar. Micron Technology, ticker symbol MU. What are you doing? So Micron, let me just hide all these candles hanging out. Inside candle for the week. And on the month, now Micron, the monthly chart is over. Let's go see what this monthly candle looks like. High wave inside candle on a monthly chart. What an interesting spot. I love this spot because this is going to be either obvious breakdown or break higher next month on Micron. Which ones are going to be, I don't know. Probably down, unfortunately. It's just my pessimistic viewpoint coming in. Hopefully it doesn't, but that's a high wave inside doji bullish candle on a monthly chart. So you got a long way to go to break that candle, but that would be, I mean, whatever direction we close out of that, it's probably the way we're going to go. The daily chart, I've been looking for a bounce. So if we put this drawing back on, Mr. Squiggles drew this on Tuesday, and so far, pretty great. So here's the hourly chart from Mr. Squiggles. Look at this, nailing it, calling it to the top. I mean, that's some good work, Squigs. So anyway, if you're looking at the hourly chart on Micron, that's maybe how you played it, right? With a break above the 50 EMA on the hourly, to pull back to the 50, that would have been the limit buy spot, and then the bounce off of it. So from here, just fingers crossed. My plan is with the 37 protective puts is if MU makes a higher high Monday, sell the 36. What? Why would that? That's weird. MU makes a higher high Monday, sell to open 36 to offset cost of the protective put. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. So we have a really interesting pattern on MU, that high wave candle on a monthly. Going to be watching it. Very similar to the rest of the market, right? It gapped down, got bought up, and obviously this $50 covered call will probably expire worthless, and I'll be able to do another one for January. So just waiting around. I wish this paid dividends. It would make it a little bit more enjoyable. But yeah, as soon as we can get back above that 100 simple moving average, I'll have more positive things to say about MU. But right now, just watching it slowly struggle to do something exciting. Robin says, congratulations to all the real life traders that are profitable for November. Thanks, Robin. We had a great chat today in the morning room, so I'm glad that we were able to discuss some things about your trades, and I am fired up to see what you do in December. December is always a fun month. NVIDIA recovering. All right. So here is the Bollinger Bands that we talked about on NVIDIA kind of a while back when it gapped out of the band. Very frequently, we talked about just the other day that strategy. If you have that black candle gapping down and you get that white candle that closes outside of the band, very frequently you're going to get that fill. How high is this going to trade to? Probably it'll trade to the 20 EMA. Last time I looked at NVIDIA was just a few days ago on Tech Giant Tuesday, where I mentioned buy the retest on NVIDIA on the 15-minute chart. So you got a pretty decent close today on NVDA, and most people who are in are already doing something with NVIDIA. You already got shares. Dividends came out yesterday, getting 16 cents a share. It closed above the 10. Falco's in a collar for a net credit of $5 if he gets exercised at 170. The put sale is still very red, but it expires in 3 weeks at 170. Just fingers crossed to see how we interact with that gap price. I really don't know, but it makes sense to me that we slowly peel a little bit higher for just how horrifically low NVIDIA's been. So yeah, I'm on board that we're starting to get that retest now. You got that one white soldier on a weekly chart. Here's the monthly time frame, and the monthly chart, really big close on the monthly. So I kind of do expect, believe it or not, NVIDIA to make some lower lows. I'm watching for that. I think this is a big, big signal that we're going to go a little bit lower. So I'm ready for protection. It doesn't have to happen immediately. I'm kind of hoping the 170 put sale actually expires worthless, or I can buy it back and just, close that risk. And just I'm watching NVIDIA for any bearish signals at all. So every day that we get, I'm just going to slowly say, okay, if we take out this candle, so at this particular point in time, for me to have any kind of warning signals go off on NVIDIA, we need to close realistically below this hammer candle on Wednesday. Okay, so as long as we don't close below here, I will imagine NVIDIA just to slowly kind of keep creeping up and slowly kind of filling this gap some. And let's see what we get in December. And I'd love for in December for us to close above 180 on the 21st. Close above 180, and then who knows? Roll over some, possible, very possible. Okay, AMD. A few people playing AMD right now. Let me hop over Advanced Micro Devices. And you got yourself a pennant pattern on AMD. So there's a few people in shares with some covered calls, some protective puts, got some people in some collars, got some people in some put sales, call options, all kinds of things. This will end up most likely becoming a very ugly double bottom. Boom, 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 boom. We hang out here, probably pop higher. You know, close above there. It'll be hideous. We'll get this really ugly retest, and then it will eventually climb higher. I mean, for a very short-term play, if I was looking at the hourly chart, what I would like to see personally is a break above this resistance, rattantron. So something like this. Give me a moment. I'd like to see it break above, and then I would do like a limit buy again at 21 and kind of rock it out from there. This daily chart, just, I mean, I like the candle. I like the moving averages. Let me go to the moving averages on AMD. EMAs, right? You're kind of above 10, 20, below the 50, so those look okay. Yeah, I just think a non-directional bullish position could also be, you know, kind of the best to play. You know, bull put spreads, put sales. If you want the weekly chart on AMD, kind of a cute little pattern, kind of fun. And again, monthly candles are over. There's the monthly candle, looks very nice. Almost hit that late 2018 target. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get there before we faded. But I like this pullback to the 10. And yeah, I'd be keeping an eye on AMD long. There's a few of you already in it. So let's see if she bounces. Here's PayPal, PYPL. And PayPal. Look what PayPal's been doing. Here's the weekly. And check out this beautiful bounce on PayPal. So your long-term moving averages, the 100's kind of far away, but it's a good trend. And this daily time frame, you just got that really, really cute bullish high wave candle. You got these two candles that were posted in here, and you got the really good close on the 26th. That was a strong day. I mean, where to get in on PayPal? It's a great question. Oh, that's tough. What to do with PayPal? It is right at the 100. If I were playing this one, I mean, if I had the opportunity to get free tacos for life, if I could take a profitable trade on PayPal, I'd probably let it break out, retest, and just buy the dip. Do I think this is the bottom? Like, do we ever retrade back down to here? Honestly, folks, we certainly could. I'm not going to say we won't. I would not be afraid at all if we trade back down to some lows on the whole market even. I mean, PayPal especially. I don't have a trade on it right now. I would say let it break above and then just, like I said, kind of most on everything, buy the dip. Weekly chart looks strong. My 2018 PayPal target was 111. I don't think we're going to get there. Might be end of 2019, or sorry, beginning of 2019, quarter two maybe. Especially if this double bottom comes in, we will hit that on PayPal at some point. I mean, if you're in PayPal shares longer term, looks nice. Adobe, I day traded this one bearish yesterday for a really small gain, and today was a perfect inside day candle. I still am waiting on a bear call spread. I just can't find any premium that I like. Today, I looked at multiple times a 285, 290 January bear call spread, and the most premium I really saw was about 62 cents, which granted is more than a 10% return, but since it's over earnings and it's like 2 months away, I kind of want more than 12%. So I'm waiting on PayPal. Sorry, not PayPal, Adobe. I do personally think that at some point these gaps get filled on Adobe. I'm not saying it has to go, hemorrhage and go to zero, but eventually something like this makes tons of sense. You just had this massive, massive rally and a lot of white candles. And we'll have fun trading it. It'll probably be pretty quick. The weekly chart on Adobe, I mean, nice bullish, one white soldier candle, nice little lower shadow, exponential moving averages on Adobe. I mean, we closed below the 50 and now we're kind of bouncing. So with that retest being said, you did get some good volume, but you do have a lot of bearish volume right here. John says, would you fade Adobe? I mean, I did Thursday for a day trade. So yeah, I'm watching Adobe to roll over. Every day I'm gonna keep an eye out for a gap or a candle or reversal pattern or something. I just feel like this was too quick of a run up without some of these gaps filling. So hopefully that answers your question, John. But yeah, man, I day traded it yesterday for a very small gain, 0.3 Rs, perfect exit. And so I'll see if we get another gap down or roll over, some type of evening star, some type of pattern. Adobe is on my short-term quick bearish watch list, yes. Costco, what is COST doing? Costco, look at that bounce. Woo, we talked about that one too. I did not play Costco, but I'm sure someone out there did. Oh, man. I bet Lee played Costco. Nerves of steel, just buying off of that support. I think it was a 100 was right there too. Was that the 100? Below the 100. Got it. Costco. What would I do on Costco? I actually kind of like this candle. Bearish candle, high wave. Says to me, you got this double bottom here, and we're kind of right above that resistance. So if Costco were to break out of that candle, I'd be all for a little bit of a bullish pop on that. And at this point, I probably would expect the best trade would be, in my opinion, a trade down and a buy off of 224, which would be the high of this bearish candle to 225. So yeah, pretty much I'd be looking at getting in off the bounce of the high of that bearish candle with a stop below the lows of these candles. If that didn't work, my plan B would be, if it trades all the way down, I would look for a very similar, very new low to come in, some type of trapping low, something where everyone's getting in, getting stopped out, and then look for a bounce there on Costco. Lee says, no, I wish I did though. It's okay. No worries. You got Visa. That's what matters. Yeah, that's all I got on Costco. Okay. Next on the list, we got New Relic, NEWR. NEWR. My computer's slowing down a little bit. It needs a rest. I've been putting it to work this week. So New Relic had that bullish gap yesterday as we get this chart pulled up here. Give me 20 seconds to let that load. All right, so there's New Relic. So you had that bullish gap. I said yesterday, I'm sorry, on Wednesday. It was a one white soldier. You got a good follow through yesterday. You got an okay follow through today. Cool. I mean, New Relic, I think there's only one, well, I don't know if there's only one trader in here, but there was a trader in here with a put sale. Looks good at this point, Ash, for your put sale. So I would say just keep holding that one. And let's see what we get on NEWR. One white soldier candle on a weekly. I really did just like that gap. That gap on Wednesday, that was a fun one. I did not trade that one. I wish I did. Here's your moving averages. And you'll remember on Tuesday, we actually looked at that to roll over, right? We had an entry here with a stop loss there. And obviously that didn't trigger, but you can see that that gap up trapped some people who were going short off the 10, and they had to buy to cover, and that's some good volume coming in there. So yeah, NEWR. So far it looks pretty okay to hang out. Okay, next on the list, Dropbox, DBX. One of my least favorite IPOs. I just don't like Dropbox. I don't like its program, its product. I'm not going to pay money for it. I'm just not a fan. Is this a good short opportunity? That's a great question. The trend isn't bullish. You did get some good volume that came in bullish. I can agree on that. The daily came right into the 50. Get wrecked. Volume increased. I mean, that is a very nice evening star pattern on Dropbox. Am I about to set up a bearish trade on Dropbox? I think so. I mean, it would have to be below the low of this candle. And the stop would just be above the high. I mean, it's an evening star reversal with a one black crow with increased volume. Oh, man, I'd love a $2 stop on that. What's the high of this candle? 24.68. The low of this candle is 22.71. All right, I guess I can do that. Bearish stop limit 22.68 with a stop loss at 22 or 24.68. All right. We can make that happen. I like the volume. I like the even star. I mean, it's in a bearish trend, and if it rolls over, why not? Is it going to work? Knowing Dropbox, probably not. I think I've tried Dropbox 2 or 3 times. The second 2 times, I never got triggered. It was actually perfect timing. So I like it for a bearish trade, though. It might be a little hard to short in some brokers, but you should be okay with it. I don't think it'll be an issue. Let's see, DBX. All right. 11/30/2018. DBX. And looking to go 22.68 by 24.68. And you can do that with shares. I think it's a good trade based on a gap and go because it gapped down with a white candle from yesterday. And we'll throw that in to here. And then I'll put that into the chat pane. New swing trade. And there we go. Alco says, I found the one person who pays the $10 a month for Dropbox. No, you do. Who? Who? Who's that one person? Because there's only one. There's no way there's multiple people. A friend of mine, she loves it. Oh, man. Wow. Well, that's how they're getting their market cap, is that you're one friend. That is it. That G drive, hard to beat. All right, cool. Dropbox, bearish swing, open. Let's see what she can do. Coke is the next on the list. Ticker symbol KO. All right. Yeah, my computer's starting to drag. It's like, come on, man. Give me a break. I don't think I've turned it off all week. All right, ticker symbol KO, Coca-Cola Company, Wowtown. Your boy Warren Buffett just rolling in the money right now. 400 million shares of Coke. Gets paid what, $1 million a day in dividends approximately. Double bottom, dividends just got paid out. You had the drop on dividends because they pay so much dang money, and then they continued higher today. Double bottom on Coke. I mean, honestly, friends, it's Coke. I wouldn't be bearish specifically. You know, you got that. Look at this beautiful double bottom. Gorgeous double bottom on Coke, high wave bearish candle, closed above the neckline. I'm done. So if you're in Coke, staying long, it'll go higher, and then it'll go down at some point, and then it'll go higher at some point. It's just choppy blue chip. Talk about a blue chip stock. I mean, Coke, about as blue chip as they get. Anyway, if I were personally playing this one, which I'm not, but if I were, there's your double bottom. So I'll just buy the neckline retest and let it pop higher. All right, next on the list, we got ourselves CRM, which is Salesforce, up another 2% today from the close of yesterday, made a little bit of a higher high and a higher low. My plan on the weekly chart is this, kind of similar to Adobe. I'm not saying it will happen, I'm just saying it makes sense for it to happen. It'll do something like this. You can pretty much rest assured. The daily chart, this gap down here will fill eventually. Until it does, though, the hourly time frame, you know, we gapped down today, bounced off the 10. Me and Mark were hoping it was going to trade down to 136 and bounce, but it didn't quite get down there. So it just pretty much bounced off the 10 on the hourly chart. So you got that line in the sand. So I mean, realistically, if it trades back down to 138 and some change, I mean, that would be the dip buying opportunity. Volumes coming in. So long-term moving averages, you're above the 200. 100's right in front of your face. I think it probably gets above the 100. That's where all the newbies get in. They're like, hey, the trend's confirmed now. Let's get in bullish. And then it'll probably roll over. So, I mean, short term, you know, day trades or very quick swing trades, sure. You know, look to go long on Salesforce. Just do it quickly. And when that big rotation comes in, we'll have a lot of fun on Salesforce, which, again, I do think will happen at some structure. BIDU. I don't have anything on BIDU, but we did have two really good candles come in this week. Wednesday's candle and today's candle were nice. So, John, I know you're a credit spread fan, and the only thing I can find, I will be doing spreads below the 100 on a monthly chart. If you were doing any trade at all, I think that one is a good one on BIDU. 167.50 bull put spread below the 100 simple on a monthly. The daily time frame, I mean, we're trying to get some love on BIDU. You got a good close today. Let me make sure I throw BABA on the list. We might go a little bit long today. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, realistically, that's all I see on BIDU. I would just be bullish to neutral, slightly bullish to neutral with like that credit spread. If you can find some premium, and just kind of let this one slowly hang out. Let's celebrate Dr. Falconium together, who got himself exercise on some covered calls on BABA. BABA's slowly peeling a little bit higher. I know Andy Richardson is excited about that because he's got a heap ton of shares of BABA. And I think Lee also has some shares of BABA. So Falco got called away, profitable. Congrats, buddy. And the weekly chart, again, you got that nice gap on the weekly, and we are retesting, as I mentioned we would, that 100 simple. So Lee also got called away on BABA. Nicely done, Lee. So my thought at this point is obviously we're probably going to get some volatility on BABA, which would be nice. I don't know what direction we move. Monday or Tuesday or whatever, but if we gap up into the 100, fade it back down, and then buy the dip, the 100 will be a pretty strong level on BABA. It really respects its long-term averages, and I would just kind of keep waiting on that one and let it do its thing. But just notice that 100 is doing its thing. Lee says, I'm ready to sell another put when it goes down. All right. I'll be watching that because I know a lot of people are kind of keeping that and having that plan on BABA as well. I can totally respect that. So we'll be all watching it together, Lee. High five. Hopefully you were profitable on that call away. And buy low, sell high. My friends, buy low, sell high. Lee says, yep. All right. Good job, Lee. High five. Lee says, we're a good team. Yes. Wonderfully done. All right. The trade desk posting in like a double bottom. So you got one here and then you got one here. So whatever desks are doing recently, they're doing them well. People are buying their desks. You have a ton of white candles in a row on the trade desk. Loads. So it's safe to say I'm not getting in bullish right here. I would look for a pullback. I mean, that's kind of like most of the market. Just be looking for a pullback. What a great, I mean, can you imagine? I did not take this trade, so I can imagine, but I didn't do it. Whoever bought there, did it twice, did it thrice. Woo! Man, it looks nice. John says premium for 170, 165 January put spreads $1. I would ask for $1.50 on BIDU. All right, boss man, I can dig that. Especially with some potential gaps coming out Monday. Might have more information Monday morning anyway. So we'll keep an eye on that, but sounds good, my man. I'll be looking for that 165 and lower and see if I can get some premium down there. But yeah, the trade desk, I mean, beautiful job, whoever bought down there on a third occasion and getting a little bit of a pop. MOMO has earnings on the 5th of December, I believe. It was up a little bit today. MOMO is going to be very interesting with earnings because if MOMO gaps down to 28, 40, whatever, just right below these lows, man, that's going to be an easy short. It obviously doesn't have to, but it could. My boy Yates has a put sale at 25 for January, which is below the 200 simple moving average on the weekly chart. I was actually thinking about doing this trade, but I didn't because I don't really need any more exposure in China right now. You could say I have some Chinese positions. So MOMO, good put sale, Yates. We'll keep an eye on that one. I like the lower shadows that are coming in a lot. This is going to make for a really fun bullish gap or a really fun bearish gap on earnings. So I'm going to put that one on the list for next week. Speaking of next week, Monday is Mentorship Monday. We're going to be talking credit spreads. We're going to be talking debit spreads. We're going to be talking retests. We're going to be talking whatever you guys want to talk about. We'll talk about it. Let's talk about spreads. All right. So I'm going to throw MOMO on the list for Tuesday. Diving into Goldman Sachs. Folks, I can't get it. It keeps running away from me. I want to short this thing with both hands on a pullback, and I guess I'm going to keep waiting. So my personal plan is actually to look to go long on Goldman Sachs after today's candle. It traded down to a decent low, some volume. This is a dividend gap. It is in a little bit of a bearish trend. I'm not going to deny that at all. But it made a new low, and I think it has a little bit of rally potential. The weekly chart, right, looks a little weakly. Got that high wave doji candle making that new low. The monthly chart on Goldman Sachs, I mean, I agree. If everyone says this looks like a head and shoulders pattern, it does. It does look like a head and shoulders pattern. And for a good head and shoulders pattern, you're going to need a little bit of a retest of that neckline, which is kind of what I'm looking for. So if you, I would say this is a nice double black diamond. You're aggressive, you know what to do, you're comfortable with your entries and exits. I'll be getting in above the high of today, the stop low of today, just for a quick pop, a bit of a gap fill. And then if and when it can trade higher up in that 205, if it ever gets up there, I'm going to look to buy some longer term puts and maybe get into a bear call spread on Goldman Sachs. NTNX. So we looked at this one, I believe, on Monday, and it's up 2% on the day. We also looked at it the other day for a gap up on earnings, and it did fade pretty much immediately, so I did not trade in the first 2 minutes. I did keep my plan in check. My plan helped me keep me in check. So I avoid losing on NTNX. But it gapped up, kind of a cute candle, good volume. Similar to the rest of the market. I mean, kind of like that double bottom-esque pattern. Really nice one white soldier candle on a weekly with volume. You have a lot of stocks like that. So again, I really will not be surprised, shocked, upset, worried, or panicked if we start making higher highs in the market next week. You know, if we gap down a little bit and start getting a dip buying opportunity on Monday, and we just start slowly climbing higher, that's not going to surprise me at all. So NTNX, I mean, here's your long-term moving averages on the weekly chart. And right off that 100 like a boss. I did not see that. I probably would have played that. I mean, either a day trade or a swing trade. That's beautiful. It is so nice on NTNX. So buy the dip. ROKU, follower Mr. Squiggles. Look what ROKU has been doing. I don't think I deleted it. So here's the daily chart on ROKU. Nice retest, good looking trend. I think we can take that off the list at this point. Had a very nice gap down on earnings. I feel like I have a lot of lines on ROKU. Do I need all these lines? That target didn't get hit, but it eventually will. High wave candle on a weekly. Bullish, almost a bullish engulfing candle. That's an interesting candle. What are the highs? Are the highs of these the same? 41.54 and 41.45. So almost the same high. Let me pop in here to an hourly chart because ROKU looks like it's been left out of the party. Looks like everyone's eating the guacamole and chips and not giving any to ROKU. What I think we'll do is do like a bullish stop limit. And then put the stop down here. All right. So stop. It's going to be a large stop. Only if I can make it tighter. I mean, I almost kind of want to put it just right below that candle. Woo! That'd be fun. Let me watch this one really closely on Monday. I'll come back to it. I kind of want this, this, and this. Like a stop and then a lower limit. So we'll come back and look at that on Monday a little bit. I'm not ready to pull the trigger yet. I haven't started planning it, but now that I've started planning it, we'll see what we can do. I just kind of want a really nice aggressive trade on this one. I know Angela is going to absolutely crush it if it goes higher, so that's good. So at least that's one person. Verizon. A lot of people requested Verizon asking when it's going to pause, and my answer is it won't. It's got some time to go, ladies and gentlemen. It pulled down to the 20 right here. I mean, that's a beautiful pullback. So if you're in Verizon, just keep holding. Trend looks great. I mentioned back on this gap, when it gapped out of here, that was a very powerful move on Verizon. I've put it in the stock reviews a few times, and mentioned that we're going higher. We're going to trade back up to that 6404 2000 tech bubble high on Verizon. So that's just a matter of time before we get up there. So if you're in Verizon shares, keep holding. I missed my fill down here by about 12 cents. Now I was only going to put enough in there to make like $200-300 to see if I could pay for my Verizon bill. That was kind of my goal. And it would have worked. I actually would have been able to pay for two Verizon bills, but I did not get filled. So alas. Nice trend. If you're in Verizon, stay long. If you're not in Verizon, find the dip to buy and then buy it. Pfizer, I've not looked at Pfizer in a bit, but Pfizer's been rocking. PFE has been putting in work. Again, new all-time high, 5 white candles in a row, huge volume. Definitely don't want to be a buyer right here, I wouldn't think. But Pfizer, I mean, strong. Nice pennant pattern breakout. So yeah, this could be a fun trend, especially if you like blue chips or like safer companies. I mean, it's Pfizer. We know how they make money. This is going to be a good trend. I like this breakout. I like the volume. Feel free to put this one on your list for my hourly traders, my active swing traders. This is just going to be a good one to keep your eyes on and just rocket higher from here. Okay. I like Pfizer. Buy that dip. XLNX. What is this one doing today? XLNX. Up that 1.4%. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 white candles in a row. Here's the weekly chart. You got a good close. I mean, it's a very powerful trend. I think Nancy brought this one to our attention not too long ago when this gap up right here occurred on earnings. So thanks, Nancy. Good trend, nice move. I mean, again, it's just another, I keep saying buy the dip, but that's just what I see on a lot of these patterns. They're posting some good trends. AT&T trying to do something exciting. And by trying, I mean, it's really going to take some time, but the monthly chart, you got an inside bullish candle. We did close below the 200, but if you adjust the trend for dividends, it actually looks a little bit more on the comfortable side. So I would say on AT&T, I mean, most of you who have shares have them for the long haul, and you're like, all right, just keep dollar cost averaging, buy it when it's low, hold on, get the dividends, buy it when it's low, that kind of thing. So yeah, this is a nice double bottom. So with good volume, if it retests on AT&T and you're looking at adding some shares, again, pretty blue chip stock. Verizon, I'm sorry, AT&T is. And I say pretty, I mean, that's one of the most blue chips out there. So buy low, sell high, own long term. It's not going to be an exciting position, but it can make you money. 2 left to review. IQ had a little bit of a pop today. Again, this would be a Chinese position, and here is this little trend that's been working pretty well. And we got good volume with a nice bullish engulfing candle. IQ was the talk of the town for a while and then has kind of slowly calmed down. So with this particular close, I would certainly be starting to watch IQ. We'll put it on the list and kind of keep an eye on it again next week. Done some put sales on IQ before. I could do it again. Let's put on the list for Tuesday of next week and just see what we can trade. The reason I'm putting on the list for Tuesday, we're already in this Chinese stock, BILI. This is BILI, and they had a good retest up on it right now today. So that's nice. So we're in on that on a bullish swing trade. So we'll see if that actually ends up working out. And then NIO, which we posted the IPO article for. We're up on it, very small. Going to see if it pulls back, maybe breaks out, leaving the orders open on NIO just to see what it ends up doing. We did unfortunately get stopped out of Activision. I didn't want to get stopped out. I never do want to get stopped out, but it happens. Kind of unfortunate. I really like the setup. I like the trade. I like the pop, but alas, it was not nice to us. So it broke out, trade to the 10, close over the 10, did everything that I would have wanted to do, only to trap us, to stop us out. So Activision, I did lose an R on Activision, whatever. If I'm going to lose, I might as well lose quickly. I traded pretty well today. Other than Activision, Activision was the reason that I broke even, but I did short Yext like a boss. That was an obvious, very easy to spot bearish gap and go with a bullish candle that made a higher high and a higher low yesterday. Here was the 5 minutos time frame, and YEXT broke down, trade up, evening start, and that was the entry, and I got out here at 14.79 for an R. So that was Yext. And then AMBA, I played AMBA on the bullish gap and go this morning. I played AMBA twice, AMBA. So these are the only 2 day trades I placed. The first trade, I'll have to show you on a 1 minute chart. I'll just show you without the extended hours on. It's probably easier. Pretty normal trade, realistically. I mean, nothing crazy. Kind of zoom in here for just a quick second. All right. So it pretty much, we broke out on a 1 minute chart. We closed above the high. I set up an entry to get in on a pullback here with a stop loss there. And obviously we can see I got stopped out. I actually had a little bit of slippage on the stop as well. 10 cents of slippage. So, but as soon as I got stopped out, it immediately reversed. So again, if I know that happens, and if it happens to me, I laugh, I smile, and I go, okay, cool market. You stopped me out. Let me see if I can get back in. I mean immediately. As soon as it just bling, and it went whoop. So I laughed, shrugged it off. I was like, okay, whatever. 5 minute chart. So I switched to a 5 minute at this particular point in time because it was, market has already done its thing. Scoot up because this was a nice bullish gap and go. And this was the second trade. Once this bullish candle came in here, and this is the candle that trapped me, that trapped some people. I should have been the trap. I should have been buying right here rather than having my stop there. I guess it was too obvious of a stop. But it broke above the high of the bearish candle, so I set my entry with a limit buy. I just did a half an R at this time because, again, I was a little scared. I was like, maybe we get stopped out again or whatever. So I put a half an R entry. And then when it broke above the VWAP on this candle, I did another half an R entry off of the VWAP, which I almost never use. But I was like, what, mix it up a little bit. So I did another half an R off of the VWAP with a limit buy. Still kept my stop all the way at the low of the day and exited at 39.92 for 1 R. So I got that R back. So pretty much lost 1.1 Rs, gained 1.1 Rs on AMBA. So it was a flat day. Made 1 R on Yext, lost 1 R on Activision. Totally flat on the day. Minus commissions, lost a little bit of money. So 11.2 Rs for the month. December, last month of the year, I'm going to try to go for 15 Rs. That's my goal. December is very often a really fun month. So let's lock it in. Let's day trade the best that we can. Let's manage our trades. As many people have found out this month, you only need 2 or 3 good trades a month to really make your month. For some traders, it was the trade that they placed today on Callaway Golf that made their month. So congrats. I got a lot of people, a lot more than I thought, played Callaway Golf bullish. So I want to say thanks, Robert Falco, for pointing that one out. This was a bullish fade that we played. Played it bullish because it was, Callaway Golf down 17% on the day, and you get this hammer. All right, that volume, that hammer, that pennant pattern, I mean, come on. So beautiful pennant pattern, very, very pretty, and nice little breakout, good volume. So it was off the 100 simple on a weekly chart. Got to take a stab at it, and we did, and some traders really squished that one. So well done, and thanks, Robert Falco. Folks, have yourself a great weekend. It is Mentorship Monday on Monday. Thanks for being here. Did I forget to look at SPLK? I did. SPLK. This one pretty much did what we thought it was going to do yesterday. It gapped up above the long terms, so that was a bonus, right? So it was a retest gap. It gapped above the 100s. It faded immediately down into long terms and bounced. Blake played this one for pretty much break even today in the room. Here's the 5-minute chart. And again, it opened, immediately flushed, bounced, and then just kind of hung out. The last time I looked at SPLK was right here. Draw this. Was right there when it made that new high with all of those white candles in a row. And I said, hey guys, if you're playing that one bullish, buy the dip around here, set your stop down here, and just let that one ride. So if you played that in the morning trading room, congratulations. I did not, but that was a nice move. And really, it's a really very pretty lower shadow. Up 10% today. A good gap, good trend. I would expect that to continue a little bit higher with that type of candle, but eventually we'll hang out, pause around, and it will eventually retest those long-term moving averages. So something like this is almost a certainty on SPLK. Have yourself a great weekend, folks. You are amazing. I appreciate you. Lee says thank you. Take care of yourself. Have a good weekend. You too, Lee. See ya, everyone. Thank you so much for being a part of Real Life Trading. For those who are watching on the YouTube channel as your stock review, I know this is a lot longer than normal, but we do this every single day, Monday through Friday, in the afternoon trading rooms. So, hey, you know what's up. You're amazing. I'll see you later. And until next time, love life, live life, trade. Bye.